Hello everyone, welcome back. So I'm here for the challenge number 7, I believe, or 8. We're almost done. I don't want to think about it. So thank you so much for being here with me. I can see so many familiar faces here. Hi Black Becky, hi Matt, hi Wade, Colby City, Anthony, Christelle, Luna B. How's it going, everyone? Bia, you're still sticking in here. Thank you so much. And the reason why I'm saying that, if you're just tuning in, is because I've just finished a 2-hour stream in Photoshop, Illustrator, and Adobe Stock with the amazing Julia Mansaska, she was hosting me, and we have done, I think, a very good job. Everyone seems to have fun. I had a lot of fun, and I always love the opportunity of being here with you guys to learn together. But right here, we are in the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge, and we're here to learn new skills and sharpen new techniques in Illustrator. I'm going to jump real quick into the schedule because, as I mentioned, we already had a busy day, but it's going to be a very busy day, even more after me. So you started the day with the lovely Shauna Lean at 7:30 p.m. with the getting started in Photoshop. And then I was reading the chat and I can see Luna B saying I missed it. Don't worry, if you just click down, of course, after this one and after the stream, you can always catch up. It's going to be day number 2. There is day number 1 and day number 2. 2 days of colorful photo compositing. But let's keep going. The Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge came afterward with Kathleen Martin. And then, as I said, we've done 2 hours of photo compositing. And now we are in the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge. After me, the amazing Ben Wagner is going to talk about logo design, and then after that, the third challenge of the day is going to come up with our Pinsky, followed by Draw Along with Kyle Webster, and Design Off with Voodoo versus Delta Tango Mike. An amazing busy day. Also, Billa says, I will spend the rest of the day silent, Clary. Yes, you talk about me because I talk a lot. I enjoy it here, and sorry if I keep wiping myself, but it's so hot in here, so I feel super warm also because I'm excited to get started. And let's jump into my screen here. Hi Angie, nice to see you. Hi Amna, that's absolutely amazing to see you here. Jack Watson, lovely to have you here. We are into our galleries page, so if you want to get inspired, but most importantly, if you want to get featured, you should publish your work on Behance. For this challenge, which is the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge, you're gonna have to use the shortcut, the hashtag AI Daily Challenge when you publish your work. And hopefully we have time, I'll be able to show it today. Otherwise, make sure to check on the very first challenge number 1. And if you're asking, how do I do that? Well, I'll tell you in a second. All you gotta do is to jump into our amazing landing page, which is right here. Let me just load it in a second. And is behance.net/challenge/illustrator. In this page, you'll get all the information you need for the challenges, starting by the big blue button that will allow to take a new challenge and get information in your email. And then if you scroll down, every single day we have unveiled one challenge, and today, yeah, it's number 8. I can't believe it. I still wanted to be number 7. It's almost like time to finish off this challenge. But don't worry, if this is your first time, you can always watch the challenges catch up during the weekend, or you can even start from today. Those challenges are for you to challenge yourself and challenge your skills and learn new technique. Today we're going to be talking about Chrome text and how to achieve that in Illustrator. And most importantly, how can I achieve that text and at the same time keep it editable? So we apply all these effects, and then if you want to change your mind, or if you, like me, find out that you misspelled something, that happens all the time, you can go back and edit the text without losing the effect. So make sure to click on Get Started in order to open the folder that contains the starter file, and you'll have a nice Adobe stock image, which we will use as a reference, and the Chrome effect. And then something else that you can do is also join, which is the second part of the challenge. So the first part is to watch the video, learn your technique, and apply them. Second part of the challenge is to jump into Discord, and you can do so by clicking on Community Chat and click let me just actually do that in the right way, because before I was reviewing with Julia the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. Let's see if that's the right way to go. I don't want to use the app. I want to open it here. Let's see if it does that. If it doesn't do it, don't worry. I'm just going to go back here and zoom out, because it looked like that was super zoom in. and that's what happened to you. So you're gonna have to log in. I have also an app on my Windows. You can download an app, as you can see is opening up, and now here under the Illustrator and feedback challenge, you'll be able, oops, I don't want the app, I want the website. Here it is. So under the feedback challenge, you'll be able, and it's just right above my head, so let me move on the other side of the screen so you'll be able to see what I'm blabbing about. Fantastic. I'm gonna zoom in. So under feedback challenge, all you have to do is to click on the little plus button here, and then you can select any image you want. So let's see, perhaps I think this is the image that we were just working on into the composite with Julia. All you have to do is to click on the image and click on open, and you'll be able to share your work. And as you can see here, all these amazing people that are part of our fantastic community. Oh, Quinton, you've done a fantastic job. Let's look at that. That's looking super pro. So Quinton, and I'm just going to take a second here, not only has done his challenge, I believe it was challenge number 4 was the invitation, but he's created a presentation with it, and he's got his name, the date, the instructor, the title, the logo. The only, Quentin, since you went so far, I'm just going to give you a very quick feedback. Change the logo to the new Illustrator logo. Otherwise, extra star for the effort is also put extra effort to present it. But otherwise, all you have to do is to share your JPEG, and you'll be able to have feedback from our fantastic mentor. We have Colby, Jack, Julia, me, Rocky Rogue, moderator, and of course you, the amazing community made of designer, professional students from all over the world. So this is a place where you want to hang out and share your work in order to get better. Oh, excuse me, with this tool. I've been talking too much. Here we are. So let's go back, and actually I've been very cheeky and got like a little drop of coffee before starting, so that's probably what got me the hiccup. But here we are. So fantastic. I'm gonna jump into Illustrator, and I have a bunch of file opens, which were the fun stuff that we were doing before with Julia. But the best way to start here is to make sure that you download your Illustrator file that I provided for you. And I should probably find mine in the folder, which is the same folder that I shared. And here it is, Chrome effect. Once you open the folder, all you have to do, drink some water, Claudia. Yes, Cornell, I agree. I was like, can't talk anymore. But I'm back. That was the coffee that was like a little bit stuck, but I'm here and I'm okay. Thank you for worrying. You can find a little bit of a gradient here, which gives you an idea of what Chrome is. And also, if you see, I've provided a photo from Adobe stock, which is simply there to provide a reference on how Chrome looks like. And that's why I was looking for these metal bits. And you know, Chrome, when you think about Chrome logos in Chrome, you think about car, you really think about all this sort of like metal gears, tools, everything that is shining, but not shining in terms of jewelry, shining in terms of mechanics. So let's actually go ahead and start playing with this. And by the way, if you want to place the image and have it there as a reference like I did, all you have to do is again go back to your starter file, which you will find into our amazing starting page here. So that will be challenge number 8, Chrome text. Click on get started, and the image is right here. Once you download it, in order to place it into Illustrator, all you have to do is press Shift Command P, and all you have to do is to find the photo that was yesterday challenge, find the right photo for this challenge, Chrome text, here it is, and click on place, and then click once in your artboard and the image will be able to be there. I don't really need it now. I don't need to place it because I already have it there. Fantastic. So once you have your image as a reference and you've got the gradient as a reference, let's click on the type tool in our toolbar in order to create our text. So I'm going to click and drag in order to create a text box, and then I'm going to use my name. So everywhere online I am Clary, So I'm just gonna write I am cloudy, and as you can see, that's pretty invisible at the moment. So I'm gonna zoom in so you guys can see what I'm writing, and then I'm gonna go under the properties panel and I'm gonna start to play with the font. Now, if you think about metal, as I said before, we're thinking about chunky text. So in terms of what text I'm gonna use, you can explore some of the amazing Adobe font from the font type kit. So what I'm gonna do here is to click under the down pointing arrow from the drop down menu in the character panel under properties, and click on find more in order to explore more font in Adobe fonts. And you can also do something really cool, which is use the filters, and I'm going to zoom in so you can actually read what I'm talking about. And once you use the filter, you can choose between a classification. I was looking for something that is a slab serif, so it's pretty much like a serif. So as you can see, sans serif, they do not have the top on at the end of the strokes, and serif, they're the one that come with the little almost like as if it's a column point. And the slab serif, it does have the stroke at the end, but is thicker, and is usually used for display font because it's very nice and chunky. And also you can select, for example, how heavy you want it. And again, because I'm thinking about metal, I'm gonna go for a very heavy weight. And you can narrow down as much as you want. I'm just gonna stop here. And then here, the beauty of having Adobe font directly into Illustrator is that all you have to do is to select a font that you like. And we can select any one. Like we can select a Beastly, for example, that looks like a nice and chunky one. And it looks like I already have it activated into my font, into my library, because otherwise it tells me to deactivate it. There is a little cross. But let's find something that I don't have. So maybe this Clarendon Text Pro. Okay, let's use this one. Oh, Colt is actually looking cool. Even better. I like this Colt one. So you can find this one called Colt. And then as you can see, there is a little cloud with a down pointing arrow, and that means that you do not have the file in the font in your library. So in order to activate it directly into your file, all you have to do is to click on the cloud, and it's asking you activate this font, and you just go, yeah, okay, I want to see them all. Otherwise, if you just want to activate one of the weight of the family, you can click on the down pointing arrow and select whichever you want. I just want to see them all because I want to have a little bit of a play with it. Now, as you can see, the cloud went from a down pointing arrow to arrow that are going back and forward, that tell us that our library is switching information with our computer, and the font is getting available for us to use, and it will be available in just a second. So I'm going to zoom out so you can see when it will be activated, and that's probably my internet being a little bit slow when it's done. And also I've actually done a lot of different weights, so it's actually updating and activating all the entire family. But we're going to go back in a second. You will see that the icon changed into a cloud with a tick, and when the tick is there, it means that it's actually finished activating them. Fantastic. So all I have to do now is to select my font, go to the character, remember the name, which I believe was Colby. If I remember well, I don't even remember the name. That wasn't useful, isn't it? I believe that it was Colby, the one that we selected. Let's see. If we scroll down, we should be able to find it again. Colt. Yeah, it still looks like it's still updating. But once it will be updating, we will be ready to use. I'm going to keep working. There it is. Actually, it's done. Fantastic. Ready to use already here. Probably is still using different different font here. Let's see. I'm being a little bit messy. I'm looking for it again. Otherwise, we can find another one in the meantime while it is updating to my computer. Oh, click to activate the font. Fantastic. It should be activating. And let's see, it's still activating. So my bad, it's probably my internet. Sorry guys, hopefully you have a better connection than me. So it's gonna activate it straight away. Fantastic. In the meantime, I'm gonna use another font that is perhaps one of the one that I have. Integral is fine, but again, feel free to pick a font from the Adobe library. And I'm gonna make sure that I make the size bigger here. So I'm gonna use 120. So it's nice and big, and we can zoom out and we can keep going. Now with your text box selected, sorry, with your type tool selected here, all you have to do by clicking on the black arrow, which is our selection tool, if you double click on this little round tool that is at the end of the artboard, look what happens. It's going to help you to shrink our text type into a point, what is called a point type. So it's literally making sure that the type fits the text. And now here, all we have to do is start to apply some appearances. So I'm going to bring up my appearance panel, and I'm also going to bring my gradient panel from the window menu. And what I'm doing here is to make sure that we select the font, and with the appearance panel selected, I click on this first square, which is allow us to add a new fill. And with the fill selected, I'm going to go ahead and click on the gradient and click on the first gradient, which allow us to create a linear gradient here. Blanca said they're amazing and helpful. I completely agree. They're super amazing. If my internet was supporting that, that would have been even better. Okay, so you can use the gradient that I provided for you, and perhaps what you have to do is to bring it down to 90 degrees, and that already gives you a nice chrome effect with the reflection. But let's build this gradient from scratch. I really want to help you to understand how this works. So I'm going to click on the gradient and then click on white to black, just to have a better idea on how we're going to make this work. So in here in the gradient panel, you'll be able to add more colors just by clicking to the bottom of the little gradient bar. And I'm going to zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. So as you can see, our little point becomes a point with a plus, and that allows us to create more points. And I'm going to start to build in a different color for this point. So I'm going to click on the very first one, double click to select the colors. I'm going to also click here into my little color and bring up this little flyout menu and click on grayscale. And I'm going to give it a 30% black. And again, I'm going to start in black and white just because I want you to get used to see how the chrome works. And then here, I'm going to leave it to 100%. And oops. Let's make sure that is 100% black. So we bring it back here. And then on this other point, I'm going to give it perhaps a distribution of 60% black. So all I'm doing here is working on the grayscale, and we don't really need two. So I'm just going to leave it down here. And here I'm going to give it again, perhaps maybe 30 is too little, 60%. So as you can see here, the way that the gradient works is by making sure that there is a narrow space in between the middle. That's where the reflection hits the light. And you can also move the gradient by using these little dots that are on top of the gradient, just like up here. And you can move it around in order to decrease the space. Just like so. So the more you bring them together, the closer the gradient range will be, and the more you move it far away, the more gradient you will have, the more smooth will be the gradient. And that's why we want a very harsh break where we have the darker color, because that's really, and again, that's why I was using that as a reference, because as you can see, you almost got like a line, and that's what we are trying to mimic in here. Then when you're done with this, my advice would be to go back into your appearance panel, and what you can do is to perhaps create a stroke. And the way that you add the stroke is to click in here by adding a stroke. But another way that we can work is also by creating another fill, and I'm going to click on add a new fill, and a new fill appears. And then by clicking on the drop down arrow here, we can click on effect and then path, and we can offset the path to make it a little bit bigger. Now I think that 10 is a little bit too much. I'm gonna perhaps start with 3, and I'm gonna click on OK. And you don't really see many changes because the fill is exactly the same. But if we perhaps start to get rid of those little line here, let's go back into offset path and make it a little bit bigger so you can see the changes taking place. And it might be useful also to do that with your type selected so you can see what happens. And here it is. 10 is definitely too big. So let's see, 3 is perhaps good. Fantastic. So what we've done here, we have actually applied it to our path. Here it is. I think, okay, so what I was working here, I was working without selecting the path, so I'm so sorry for that. As you can see, we went back to our original fill because that's what we wanted. Now, making sure that you keep the path selected, all you have to do is to click on add new fill, And then under this bottom fill, you will create the offset path. So make sure that is, as you can see, is very important to keep the order, and is also, here it is, now it's looking fine. And we can perhaps reduce the number of elements on this fill, and it looks a little bit better. Perfect. It looks like we finally got it working here. And what it does, it just create a little stroke that allow us to bring our pattern together. So you can build as many fill and as many stroke as you want. So perhaps if you want, you can actually duplicate this one and invert the colors, so you got the opposite of the light coming through. And of course, remember to select your path when you do that. So click on the little fill and click on plus in order to create a new one. And then again, you can always change out the offset of the path. That's the beauty of it, that it remains always editable. So in fact, again, if you go under path into my effect and effect path, again, you can make it perhaps 6 or 5. And in this case, we can also swap the direction of the gradient and reverse it, just like so, by clicking on this little icon here at the bottom. Fantastic, just like so. And this is just to give a little bit of an extra oomph, a little bit of extra outline to really bring it up. Blanca, I'm so glad that you are liking this trick. Now I think I got like 2 more minutes, but I want to show you something super cool. You can also use the circle, and I'm going to click and drag in order to create a circle with the gradient. In this case, I'm going to swap and use a gradient that is a radial gradient, and I want the white over there. Also the opacity of the white, I want to bring it up to 100. And then I'm gonna set the opacity of this circle to color dodge. So look what happens when I bring it on top. It almost create like a very cool lighting effect. So remember, all I've done is create the circle and then set the opacity to color dodge. And then I'm gonna make like tiny little shape on top of my type here. And as you can see, they will work almost as like they're a little torch. But before doing that, it's perhaps good to click and drag into my circle, press Command C to copy them, and put them in another layer. So click to your layer panel, click on the plus, and then press Command F to place it on another layer. So you can work on them separately and they don't interfere with the text. Now, another super cool thing that I was talking about is that once we've done this text, if you're not happy about it, so for example, I forgot to put the @ which is the way to go to my Instagram handle, or perhaps you want to just say challenges, whatever you want to write, whatever type you're going to change, all the effect that we made in order to create our Chrome are there. Once you're done, you can lock the bottom layer and just use the top layer to fill in our little circle and start to create those lights, just like so. And you can place them usually around the corner. I'm going to zoom in and make them really small. And I'm probably just going to make it to the letter A, because I can see that we're almost out of time here. And again, just make a little tiny, just like so. And perhaps I will also start to play in the properties panel with the opacity fill. So I will bring it down a little bit because it looks like they're too bright. But otherwise, you can just stick to the gradient here. And remember, the super cool feature is that it's editable. Now, unfortunately, it's time to say goodbye. I will catch you tomorrow with our very last, for now, Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge. As usual, it's an absolute pleasure to be with you. Don't forget to submit your work here on Discord. You can just jump on this shortcut link, bit.ly AI Discord. And also don't forget to stay tuned, because there is an amazing graphic design stream coming with Ben Wagner and a fun-filled day coming up for you. You can have a quick glimpse at the schedule here, but also if you just look below me, you'll see all the schedule coming up. Fantastic, guys. I look forward to see your Chrome text on Discord, and maybe write different words so I can see that you have used the different effect. Thank you so much for being here with me. Super appreciate your time, and I will catch you tomorrow with our challenge number 1. Bye, everyone.